Today, it's all about the props. So do you want to get started? Or do you want me to get started, Grant? How you
No,
feeling?
I'll go. I'll give my favorite prop in this entire game, and I liked it. I liked it back at the start of last week, whenever the props first came out. That was like what, Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever they were released, and I'm falling more and more in love with it. So my favorite prop in this game, and this is just like standard money stuff, -110. I have some long shots and some novelties we'll get to. But Drake Maye under on his rushing yards. So this opened at 31 and a half. It's up as high as 37 and a half at Bet 365. Closing line, people are probably going to push this thing close to 40 because the natural thought process is it's the playoffs, it's a mobile quarterback. Drake Maye's best moments in these playoffs have come with his legs, and he's going to be willing to throw caution to the wind. He's going to take the hits. He's going to do whatever he needs to grind it out for his team. Got 66 yards rushing in the wild card, 65 in the AFC Championship game. I get all of that. This is what I would retort with. The Seahawks don't blitz all that often. Matter of fact, I have the numbers pulled up in front of me. The Seahawks blitzed at, where are they? They were 25th in blitz rate. They only blitzed on about 1 out of every 5 plays. And the majority of the coverage they run is zone and zone match. So they always have eyes on the quarterback. And on top of that, they put their safety, Nick Emanwari, down in the box on every play. So whether he's spying or just in position, they pretty much always have eyes on the quarterback. They get home with 4, which means that there aren't going to be these gaps in the defense. And then they don't really play much man coverage. So you're not going to have players with their backs turned, which gives Drake Maye those alleys to run. So I do think Drake Maye will, lay it on the line. And that's when everybody says that, they naturally assume he's going to go over on his rushing yards. But I think it's the total opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. The numbers getting a little too high. And when you look at just what he has done recently, I mean, the playoffs had 260-plus yard rushing performances, only had 10 against the Texans. He was not great against that defense. This defense is basically equivalent to the Texans. I would say I'd take Houston over them if I had to pick one. But still, this is a very, very good defense. But one thing that I guess I have my concerns over with this prop, a few big rushes, he can hit it. Like when you look at what he did against, really Denver, I would say. I mean, I know he had 65 yards, but had the long of 28, had the long of 37 against the Chargers. The way he's been playing, one big play can change this. So I would agree on the under of just volume wise, but still he's been that big play rusher at quarterback. So the one play that I'm looking at, and maybe you could pair it up where you go under on rushing yards, over on longest rush. This could really get you some serious cash if it did hit. Over 13.5 for the longest rush. Because like you were saying, they don't play a ton of man coverage. Their backs aren't going to be turned. They're going to be in zone. But if he rips off 13.5 yard rush, which is more than possible, because the Seahawks might be a man one time, even if they're in zone, they could lose track. I mean, if they drop back and Patriots run a deep concept, and if the rushers get out of those rush lanes and allow him to seep through, 13.5 is very doable for him. And based on how the Patriots have survived in the playoffs, it has been thanks to like Drake Maye long rushes. So if I'm the Seahawks, the one thing I need to do is shut that down, obviously. With that being said, I'm going to take him to do it at least once in this game because he kind of has to keep the Patriots competitive.
I mean, there's a path for both of us here. The Seahawks, they're going to be disciplined. They're going to rush forward. They're going to keep them contained. I'm sure Mike McDonald is drilling it to them. Can't let this guy get loose. The Patriots are going to have the ball, probably like 70 to 80 plays or so.
Yeah.
On one of those, Drake Maye gets loose, and on the other 79, the Seahawks lock him down. There's a path where we're both right here.
Yeah, so his long rush, he's hit it obviously in 2 of the 3 playoff games. Then he would have hit it against Miami, Baltimore, Buffalo. So he's hit 3 of the past 4 in the regular season and 2 of the past 3 in the playoffs. So, I mean, pretty good numbers there. I think that's a better – if you like Drake Maye rushing props, I think that's the better way to take it than going over on such a high total. I mean, we're not Lamar Jackson territory yet, but we're getting up there into that really severe rushing quarterback area with that 37.5 yards.
Yeah, I mean, you're used to seeing Lamar probably in like the 50-ish, 50 to 60, Jaden in like the 50 to 40, and then Drake that's probably the closest one that I've seen to them.
He's like Kyler Murray range.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good pull there.
Yeah. So I mean, I think Drake Maye has to be able to run the football. Like again, what Tony Romo was saying against Denver is like, this is the runs that he needs to have. These are how he needs to beat Denver. But the worst thing I think for the Patriots is probably how that Denver game played out, in the sense of, if I'm the Seahawks and I can keep Drake Maye in the pocket, like I don't think they really stand a chance scoring many points in this game.
Well, I'll keep it. I'll started with rushing. I'll go to some receiving here. Actually, matter of fact, no, I'll keep it on rushing. I'll go to a running back. I've got a couple of props that I think would be good for parlays, because they're both in sort of like the minus 180, minus 190 region. So I wouldn't bet them outright. But honestly, I mean, if you combine them, matter of fact, why not just see what would happen if you were to combine them right now, so I can give you a real number on that. We'll go with this. Combine it with this other one, and you get plus 106 parlay odds for this. So I'll take you through it. It's a little two-legger. Kenneth Walker, anytime touchdown scorer. With Zach Charbonnet, blowing an ACL earlier in the playoffs, Kenneth Walker's got a near monopoly on the backfield. He got 19 carries in both playoff games so far, scored 3 touchdowns in one of them, 1 in the other. The Seahawks are committed to running the football. They've also been throwing it to him. He has 7 receptions for about 80 yards in the playoffs. So, play action sets up. The check down is open. They might just run it with him. And Kenneth Walker's been playing really good football. It's a reminder of how good he is when he's healthy, because we have this image in our heads of him being kind of clunky, but he's looked terrific in the playoffs. And then the other leg is Jackson Smith-Njigba, only 70-plus receiving yards. His actual line is closer to like the 93 range. But if you take him for 70-plus, he just won Offensive Player of the Year, as we found out the other night. He averaged 105 receiving yards per game, and he beat this line in 17 of 19 games across the regular season and the playoffs. In the NFC Championship game, had 150 receiving yards. He said afterwards that he told his team, like, whatever we got to do to get it done, give it to me. I will carry the burden, because I promise you that I will deliver for us. And he did. He had more than twice as many yards as this. So those 2 legs, Kenneth Walker touchdown, JSN 70-plus, that gets you plus 106 parlay odds.
I like it. And if I'm the Patriots, I think the one thing I need to shut down is obviously JSN, and that's going to be hard to do. I don't think they're going to be able to keep Kenneth Walker out of the end zone, so I like both these. But yeah, if I'm the Patriots, the one thing I really can't do is let JSN go off. And I got to look at JSN's recent log for yards, but he must be hitting this pretty much every week.
His log is wild. Now, he only had 19 yards against San Francisco, but I mean, you got to keep in mind, they weren't even trying to score, and that's when Darnold was like fresh off the injury. So Darnold wasn't even throwing.
So he hit this all 5 to end the regular season, missed
17 of 19 games total.
Yeah. So that's a good parlay leg anywhere you want to go. And I know Christian Gonzalez is going to be on him and all that, and I don't think it matters.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
If you hold him to 70 yards, if the Patriots hold JSN to under 70 yards, chances are they won the game, I would say. So I think out of all the matchups, like Gonzalez versus JSN is definitely the one that probably helps decide the game, which, again, if you want to check that out on WSN.com, I'm writing an article on that. So go check it out.
Well, I mean, this is JSN we're talking about. Again, I just talked about the 150 yards in the NFC Championship game. This is also the same man who had 15 catches for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Rose Bowl. This man steps up in the big moments, so I think he'll have a good game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in 70, if you say he has 75 yards, I wouldn't call that a good game. I mean, it's a good game.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't call that a good game for him because he's just that dominant.
Good game for him has got to be I mean, if he gets exactly 100, you're not even saying it was like, you're kind of saying like, all right, he did what he was supposed to.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the Seahawks defense. Everyone's talking about how good this defense is. They're all talking about how great the Seahawks defense is. They're good. I'm not going to say they're not good, but we can't forget that Matt Stafford almost threw for 400 on him again. Like, Matt Stafford has done that to them multiple times. I don't know if the Patriots have the weapons that the Rams have. They obviously don't. But if Matt Stafford's throwing for 400, Drake Maye can get 221 and a half. And there's multiple ways for Drake Maye to hit this prop too. Number one, I think the Patriots have to come out and put the pressure on the Seahawks. Like, I know they got to run the ball and control clock. I don't that doesn't necessarily make me think they can win the game because I don't know how many times the Patriots are going to be able to drive the field, running the football, chunk after chunk. Like they need explosive plays. They need to come out, put the ball in Drake Maye's hands and let him throw. I don't know if they're going to do it, but if they do that, he's going over 221 and a half. If the Patriots fall behind in this game, he will go over 221 and a half. And the Seahawks have been got in the secondary by good quarterbacks from Matt Stafford. I think the Patriots need to come out and establish scoring because if they do that, you put the pressure on Sam Darnold and then you put him in a situation where maybe the Seahawks can't lean on Kenneth Walker in this football game. And if that's the case, I think that's a route to victory for the Patriots. So I'll go over 221 for Drake Maye.
I agree with everything that you said. I don't know that this is going to happen just because you can say Matt Stafford did this and that's a high bar to clear. That's the MVP. And Drake Maye was second in MVP voting. But as we have been over, he also did have an easier time than Stafford did. Not to disregard what he did, but Stafford's also got all this experience. You know, he's 37 years old. He's been to and won a Super Bowl. So in that moment, that might not have been a big deal to him. Whereas Drake Maye, throughout this entire playoff run, has not been anywhere near the level he was in the regular season.
Well, we need to factor into, I mean, he did throw for 268 against the Chargers. So that's one thing. But we also have to factor in the cold and the snow. Like that's something that the Seahawks have not had to deal with. I mean, the cold, I guess, but they have not had to deal with the weather that the Patriots have. I mean, that nobody could throw in the Denver game. You can't really count that. Nobody could really throw in the Houston game. The Chargers game was a cold, windy night. Like the Patriots now, you're getting into some nice weather. That might make a difference in this game, and not a lot of people are talking about that fact.
That's a good point. Yeah. We should probably know. Do you know what the weather's going to be like at kickoff?
I haven't heard anything that it was not going to be nice, so I'm assuming that means it's probably going to be 70 and sunny.
67 and sunny. Yep.
Yeah, they ain't talking about it. If they're not talking about it, that's what it's going to be. So it should be good. I think that's going to make a huge difference for the Patriots offense in the sense of you played in the cold and the rain and the wind and the snow. And now you're in a situation where you're playing in just nice weather. And again, that's going to help you. It's going to help you run the football. It's going to help you throw the ball. So maybe the Patriots offense comes out and surprises some people.
No, it could happen. And the weather would certainly be a big part of that. And it would be just a big change in what we've seen in the playoffs overall. Yeah, so I've got some long shot props here, and I'm just going to read them all to you, and then I'll tell you which ones I like, and you can chime in if you've got any thoughts. Okay. So you can get plus 190 for Kyle Williams over 0.5 receiving yards, plus 150 for Jake Bobo over 0.5. You can get minus 120 for Elijah Arroyo over 0.5, and plus 290 for Jake Westover over under 0.5 yards. You've also got Travion Henderson at over under 2.5 receiving yards, Austin Hooper at 8.5, and Pop Douglas at 9.5. My favorite of those, Jake Bobo, plus 150 for over 0.5. He had only one catch in each of the last two games. He had one target against the Niners, two against the Rams. But, I mean, one catch takes this over. And believe it or not, the one catch he had against the Rams was actually a touchdown. So he was on the field in like an important position. And with Kyle Williams, you're thinking, okay, do they connect on a deep shot? With Elijah Arroyo, you're thinking, he just came back from injury. Is he actually going to get on the field? Jake Bobo has actually been on the field, and they're giving you plus 150 odds for him to do something he did in the last two games.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I think Jake Bobo is probably the one that I would lean towards there. Like Pop Douglas over 9.5 potentially, but for the most part, I think Jake Bobo over a half, one catch, you hit this. Imagine if he catches it behind the line of scrimmage.
It's a screen and they just dump him.
Very possible. Jake Bobo touchdown. A lot of people are kind of on that. I didn't say a lot of people, but a lot of people are taking that for the value. I don't think that's going to hit, but you never know. Like teams don't venture off the game plan that much in the Super Bowl. But I do like over a half a catch. I think that's a good mark for Jake Bobo.
Half a yard, yeah.
Half a yard, yeah, half a yard.
And then the Travion Henderson one interests me too, because his rushing line is 17.5 and his receiving line is 2.5. I get it. He only had 3 carries for 5 yards in the AFC Championship game.
He sucks.
He doesn't though. Like,
he does.
He should be better. He's messing things up, but he makes big plays. it's a classic case of Saquon with the Giants. Saquon would get 0 yards, 0 yards, 1 yard, 1 yard, 80 yards, 1 yard, 1 yard, 1 yard, 90 yards.
We cannot put Saquon and Travion Henderson in the same sentence.
That's how he's playing though. Like he's doing nothing until he changes the game with this huge play.
I was watching a lot of like the film junkies and all that, breaking down why Travion Henderson isn't in, because like there are media members who are like the Patriots are just waiting to unleash their secret weapon in the Super Bowl, and it's Travion Henderson. Like he's bad. Like
he's missing his holes a lot.
Yeah, he's not hitting the hole. He's being too wide. He's not being tight to the hole, and that's been an issue. And again, like he's just doing what Ramondre Stevenson did early in the year. Like the Patriots were on the verge, not on the verge of cutting Ramondre Stevenson, but they really could have cut Ramondre Stevenson, traded him, got rid of him, and went to Travion Henderson. And now Travion Henderson said, hey, let me be stupid like Ramondre Stevenson early in the season. And now we're in the situation where the Patriots only have one legit running back.
But I also don't see them. I don't see them not giving him the ball because he can change the game with one touch. He had in the Bucks game, and then I think it was the Bills game was his other big one. He had 4 touchdowns of 50+ yards in just 2 games. Going back to Texas, Ohio State in the CFP, going into halftime, and it's a 75-yard touchdown off of a screen pass. Those are the things he can offer you, and you need to try to risk something at some point in this game to create a big play.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, he needs a big hole. He needs a screen that has been blocked perfectly that Texas wasn't ready for in the college football playoff championship game. Or what was that? The semifinals. Yeah. You need a big opportunity for him. And like, he's not creating opportunities. There's been plenty of times where he's had these opportunities that he's just been too wide or whatever. I don't think he plays a ton in this game. I really don't. If you like him for a touchdown right now, what is he at? Plus 480 anytime touchdown. Where have we? It's crazy the fall off.
No, because you're right. They were totally on the verge of like maybe trading Travion or cutting or Ramondre, maybe even cutting him, like you said, and giving it because Ramondre kept fumbling. That was another big part of it.
I don't know how you fumble the ball. I really don't. Hold on to the football. Like one time, okay, I see it. How many times is a guy perfectly putting a hat on a ball or punching it out perfectly? If you don't,
try. Like, I mean, you've got multiple people punching it on every single play.
I don't understand though. These guys are paid to hold on to the football. Like your job is to hold on to the ball, and you can't do it. But yeah, I don't see him playing much. But I like the thought of potentially going like over 18.5 longest rush, or not longest rush for his overall rushing yards, or longest rush. Honestly, what do you get that at? 7.5. I'd take that in a minute.
Yeah, he's the best odds for his over 16.5 at Hard Rock Bet. Longest rush, can I get that? Yes, I can. Longest rush, best odds over 7.5.
I would take 7.5.
And then his receiving yards, best odds you're going to get are over 2.5.
So he had 3 carries against the Broncos, 12 against the Texans, 9. So I mean, outside of last week, like, knowing you're not breaking anything open, like he's probably going to get 5-6 carries in this game at least. He might be pushing 10. Like knowing last week, the primary goal is not to rip one for a touchdown because of the snow. It's just to hold on to the ball. Like I'm keeping Ramondre in punting. So I mean, it makes sense why he had 3, but I would take over 7.5 for the longest rush in a heartbeat.
I'm with you that I think he's getting like, I think the worst case scenario is he gets 5 carries.
And I mean, 5 is good enough to get 16 yards, I would say.
For sure.
Unless you have one negative play. If you have like a 3-yard loss, you're in trouble.
What else you got?
So my long shots, one that I'm looking at here for defensive props, I have DeMarcus Lawrence and Leonard Williams to lead the game in sacks. One of those guys, you can get that for plus 650 each. I would take both of them. It's dead heat rules too. So if they both have 2 sacks and they were the only one to have 2 sacks, you would basically split that. So that's a good one. I think the Patriots offensive line's not that good. I think Will Campbell's terrible right now. And I think if somebody leads the game in sacks, it's probably going to be a member of the Seattle Seahawks. So I will take their 2 best guys in terms of the odds there to get a sack. So I absolutely love that prop. And then also for touchdown scores, I mean, you're getting a lot of good value on touchdown scores. Stephon Diggs plus 270, Rashid Shaheed plus 370, Mac Hollins plus 430. But the guy that I'm looking at right now, Kayshon Boutte plus 330. I mean, not a long shot necessarily, but every Patriots receiver is like 2-1, 3-1 right now to catch touchdown. Really 3-1.
Because they don't favor any one person.
Yeah. So if I could go Stephon Diggs plus 270, Kayshon Boutte plus 330, I don't know if you agree with this. I mean, Hunter Henry's plus 240. If you don't get either Stephon Diggs or Kayshon Boutte in the end zone, you probably are not really competitive in the football game. So I know I'm saying that for a lot of things, but the Patriots need to kind of – Drake Maye's got to throw a couple touchdowns. You got to be able to run the ball effectively. You got to score points. So one of those two guys has to score. And the way they use them both around the goal line, I mean, more than enough opportunities to catch touchdowns if they're in that position. And again, Matt Stafford did just light up this team. Drake Maye can do it.
No, I agree. I took Diggs personally when I was looking for it, but I did have that mental battle of would I take him or Boutte? And if the option is, well, just take both of them and you still get plus money odds, that's how it works out. I think there's a good chance one of them scores.
New England defense also 9-1. That's disrespectful.
Sam Darnold meltdown.
Yeah, like, come on. Sam Darnold's thrown 14 interceptions this year, and you're getting the defense for 9-1. When the Seattle defense is plus 550 for a defensive touchdown. The one thing you cannot take away from the Patriots this year, they have done an excellent job protecting the football.
Do special teams count in this?
Yes. So
that's probably actually you can't even say that because Marcus Jones for the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's had a lot of defensive touchdowns this year, so I guess I see it, but also too, the New England Patriots are going up against Sam Darnold, who throws 14 interceptions. It's a lot of opportunities for the Patriots to potentially go, you know? And I would say also too, like, if I'm looking at interception props, do we have interception props on here?
For individual players or quarterbacks?
Yeah, we do have interception props, I think, for individual players. Give me Christian Gonzalez interception plus 700.
It means he's probably getting it on JSN.
Yeah, and more than possible. I mean, he's good enough to win a couple reps against JSN.
And Darnold's probably going to be throwing it to JSN, so I guess that makes sense.
Darnold's going to make a bad throw to JSN, so go Pats.
I got some. I'm just going to run down them, and we can talk about if we like any of them. I got some long shot props here. Kickoff return for a touchdown plus 2,200. Quarterback to catch a pass plus 1,000. Non-quarterback to throw a touchdown plus 1,400. Score on the last play of the game plus 800. Successful 2-point conversion plus 300. Octopus plus 1,500. I guess they're talking about. I don't understand the odds difference there. And then over 2.5 players to have a pass attempt plus 175.
I like over 2.5 players to throw a pass attempt. I think that's probably the best one in my opinion.
I think, yeah, not to be a party pooper, but I don't think any of these are going to happen.
I think over 1.5 could happen. It's happened in 3 of the past 4 Super Bowls. Cooper Kupp could throw a trick play. The Patriots may need a trick play. Quarterback gets hurt. Backup quarterback comes in. If Sam Darnold, and the Seahawks absolutely roll the Patriots, you're going to get a backup quarterback in the game like we saw last year with Kenny Pickett. So yeah, there's multiple ways that this one can hit. I think it's more likely that it hits from a quarterback injury or a backup quarterback coming in rather than a trick play. But the Patriots may need a trick play. I just don't know. If you're the Patriots, you're probably not trusting a receiver to throw the football against the Seattle Seahawks defense.
Yeah, that's where I was with it. When you're playing a great defense, the Philly special was great because it was at the 1-yard line or wherever they were. But if we're just talking about being on the 45 on 3rd and 6, like you're playing a very dangerous game there.
Yeah, so you're probably not going to do that. You're probably not going to have a punter throw a pass in the game. I mean, you're playing very conservative, but maybe. You never know. Never know. It doesn't have to be complete either. It could say, hey, if it's not there, do not throw this. Throw it out of bounds. That counts.
But they never do that. They always take the sack. They never throw it away.
Understand. They take the sack or they try to force it, especially the college kids. When there's a college flea flicker play, screen, roll out, throw the ball, you're watching and you're like, just throw it away. Just throw it away. It's not there. It's not there. And then they always try to force it in.
Well, speaking of flea flickers, are we good to move on to the novelty props?
Yeah, let's look at the novelty prop list here.
So you can bet on a flea flicker, and I was actually I was talking about this with my buddies. It was a Steelers game. It was a Steelers primetime game. One of my friends is a Steelers fan, and we were making fun of the flea flicker, and then the Steelers ran the flea flicker, and it worked out for them. But like, how does that play still work? That's such a 1940s, like that's the first trick play they ever thought of was the flea flicker.
The Patriots have run flea flickers. I mean, they ran one last week against the Broncos, and it went for a big play. I mean, that's probably a better trick play than any other. I know it's one of the vintage ones, but in the end of the day, how often does a throw a screen, throw it back across the field to the quarterback, have him run it or throw it downfield? That doesn't really work. What
We need to
about
see
like
someone do a fumble rooski.
fumble rooski? Yeah, like those are tougher. Where if I do a flea flicker, I'm just keeping my protection the same. I'm fake run, running back throws it back. So like it's basically like a 5-step drop, and you don't lose any time. And I guess if a safety or a corner bites on that run, then you're off to the races with a deep ball. So I think it's good play. I would take a flea flicker to happen in this game. I think that's more than likely over like 2.5 players throwing a pass.